Welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. With me today, I'm pleased to have both Joyce Reed and Mary Griffith with our library and with the City of Cottonwood Library. Joyce is the Library Youth Services Coordinator, and Mary is the Cottonwood Library Supervisor. So I'd like to welcome you both as we talk about library services and programs today, because man, our library does so much as it involves services and programs. And I mean, that's probably one of the most intense that I've seen in any library throughout Northern Arizona, actually providing for programs, which is really a unique thing, and it's fun. And people have a blast with this library. And if you've not been to, I know everybody's been to the Cottonwood Library, so I won't even ask that question if you've not been. But I know everybody has, and it's really a great place to spend time, especially if you've got kids, youth, or even seniors. And if you're a senior, it's a place to be. And so we're going to be getting into the programs and again the services, what you guys provide, because I think that every time this year, nobody realizes that you guys are really starting into your full swing about this time, and it gets real intense at the library. And librarians and library clerks and everybody else do a ton of work. And that's what everybody thinks, I'd like to be a librarian, but you don't realize everything you guys go through on a day-to-day basis. So it's kind of fun here. So we're gonna start right off with youth services and talk directly with Joyce Reed. And Joyce, welcome today. It's good to have you back with us. I know it's been about a year and a half ago, I think is what we did, and we did a segment on the library. We always do usually Comic Expo and the Comic Con stuff, and so we always have a lot of fun with that, especially with Mark. And Mark is the, what is it, Geranimal? Jan Mark, yes.
He's the Janimal.
He's the Janimal. So we'll be talking probably in one of our upcoming segments as well with Jan Mark and going through all of that. So as our special treat today, it's one of those things that we discussed. Now, Joyce, I want you to give a little bit of background as it pertains to your position at the Cottonwood Public Library, and what does that entail?
Well, it entails working with kids a lot,
okay.
and I have done that through all my years working in libraries. I love doing crafts with kids. I love doing programs with kids, and there's a lot of planning behind all of that. So it's lots of fun, though.
It really is. Now, how long have you been at the Cottonwood Library?
This is my 4th year.
4th year, and so what is it that you've been working with children and children's programming, and what do you like most about the job, and as it pertains to kids?
I think it's just watching the kids discover things about the library. A lot of them will come up and ask, what's a good book that's like this book that I just read, and taking them to the shelves and having them discover a new author or a new series or a new book that's going to engage them.
Right, and so why is it important that we have a youth services department at libraries, throughout the nation?
Well, because kids need information just as adults do, and they can find information on the level that they're working with.
And that's great, because I mean, it really helps. It helps them progress, and especially education-wise. Some of the most involved people are readers and in society, and it's really great to see that. And especially with youth, the more they read, the more they understand, especially within society.
Right.
I think that's a great thing to have. So it's really a neat thing.
Yeah.
Now, any programs or events coming up at Youth Services? Tell us about.
There's quite a few.
Tons of them.
The first big event that's coming up is our SciTech Fest. It's part of the Verde Valley SciTech Fest, which runs through February 18th through March 18th. And so the Cottonwood Public Library event is scheduled for February 21st from 2 to 5 p.m. and we scheduled it on that day because it's early release at the schools.
That's great.
So we're going to get a lot of kids having some fun.
Well, that's neat, because we got the SciTech information up on the screen right now, so everybody can see that as well. It's an overdrive, and there's one, a SciTech Festival, and it's the logo with the gecko. So it's really cool.
Yes, and there's actually going to be a live leopard gecko at our SciTech Fest.
Wow.
So he'll be back for the 2nd year with there's a little teaching poster that tells the kids all about geckos, where they come from and what they're like. But the cool thing is we're going to have the Wonder Factory from Flagstaff coming. The Wonder Factory is a couple who have been trying to get SciTech and STEAM going in northern Arizona, and they're raising funds to have an area where kids can just come and do STEAM and SciTech and everything. Anyway, they're bringing their wind tunnel, and the kids get to make a parachute figure or a helicopter and try flying it up the wind tunnel.
Oh my goodness sakes, that'll be a blast.
Right, and we have some new STEAM kits. Of course, STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And the STEAM kits that we have, kids come in every day to use, but we'll have 3 new ones for teens, kids, and the toddlers to try out.
That's amazing. So what is the Anki? What is it? The Anki Overdrive?
The Anki Overdrive is a racetrack that is run by tablets, and so the cars are run using a tablet, and the kids can race cars on an electric type racetrack.
So they also will have Kiva blocks and run a mini robot.
So we have a STEAM kit already called Keva blocks.
Okay.
And they can make a maze, or they can make different structures out of it. But we now have a couple of mini bots that they can run through a maze.
And you see that on TV is a lot of the bots that they're using, and they actually have those war bots, so they're actually having competition with different bots. But this one here is really going to be exciting too, so it'll be a lot of fun for them. Interesting. So now what's happening at the Dr. Seuss birthday party?
Well, the Dr. Seuss birthday party is for the preschool story time, and that is on Thursday, March 1st. Dr. Seuss's birthday, I think, is the second.
Oh, wow.
But we're going to have some community members be reading Dr. Seuss books to the kids. We usually have a police officer. I think we're going to have the new library manager read some Dr. Seuss books. And then they'll get to make a little yummy craft and have like a little snack with that. And it's just a celebration of Dr. Seuss.
That's great. So now, tell me, so what does the youth services have for little ones then? Tell us about that.
We have Tiny Tot story time on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., which we have stories, we have lap sit and music, and then there's a time for babies to socialize as well as moms. On Thursdays from 10 to 11, we have preschool story time, and we have preschool stories, music, movement, and then a little craft at the end.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to do there too. Well, we're going to take a break right now, and so for our first segment, and so we're ending here. We'll come back here for our second segment and talk a little bit more to Joyce as it pertains to what the Comic Expo was a little bit more about, and get a little bit more information there, and move into maybe talking directly with Mary Griffiths as it pertains to the library. So come back with us here in just one moment. I'm your host, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness. When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood, and we're having a good time here talking about library. Library programs are extremely interesting, and everything that's going on, as well as the services that are provided by the Cottonwood Library, are really incredible. They're kind of extraordinary in a lot of different ways, and so make sure that you contact the Cottonwood Library. You can either go to cottonwoodaz.gov or you can give them a call directly to find out a little bit more information. But I would go right online and you can find out probably an awful lot pertaining to just Cottonwood Library, and it'll bring you up as to all of the different programs. Joyce Reed, you're here with us today, and you're the youth supervisor, youth services supervisor for the Cottonwood Library. Tell us about the Comic Expo that's coming up, because it's really cool.
It is cool. The Comic Expo is a fundraiser for our summer reading program, and I work with Jan Mark, the Janimal, and the Northern Arizona Cartooning Association to put together the Comic Expo, and it's basically a mini Comic Con. We'll have cosplayers there, people dressed up as different comic characters. There will be tables that people can go through. It's called Artist Alley. Comic book artists, comic book authors. There is going to be a food truck. There's going to be an artist sketch-off that people can check out. They give them a theme or some idea of something to draw, and then they have to draw it like right on the mark.
It is too. That's really neat. I know kids really love the cosplayers, the people that actually come in costume, and the cosplayers, and they are really fun because they actually take the part on. And so they really kind of do some stuff. So
they do, and they walk around, and people can do photo ops with them.
Yeah,
and it's lots of fun.
Yeah, I know. I saw some of the kids last year saying, shoot me. So it was one of those where, it was like, they have the lot of fun, especially with the Star Wars characters, because they're great. So that's a lot of fun, and it's really kind of a cool thing. I'm so glad that we're able to offer that as a program within the city, because the kids really get involved, and so that's really a neat thing. Now, let me know, as there are tutoring opportunities for kids and who are starting to read, what do you have as it pertains to tutoring programs?
Well, we have a tutor time with Carol. She does reading tutoring with kids. She comes twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays, from 3:30 to 4:15. It is a sign-up event, and we are pretty booked through March. But she really helps the kids out. She's a former teacher, and works really well with the kids. But we also have a chance for kids to practice reading with a dog through Pause to Read. We have 4 therapy dogs and handlers, and kids can come in, sign up for a short amount of time to read to a dog.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's both good for the dog, but it's mainly good for the kids.
Yes.
Because they're like, they love pets, so they're always all over that. Now, what weekly activities do you have?
Well, weekly we have the family craft every Friday at 4 p.m. That's a fun thing for the kids to come to, and each staff member comes up with a craft. This Friday for today, for Groundhog Day, we have a little pop-up groundhog for them to make. But we have fun crafts every week, and of course we have the story times every week. We also have Full Steam Ahead. Kids can come and ask for one of our STEAM kits to play with. So yeah. So
what are activities then? I mean, for teens, what do you have going on for teens?
The teens have tablets that they can get on upstairs, as well as some computers. And we have a program called TLC, Teen Library Council, and the teens can get involved, and they will actually be helping out with the SciTech Fest, the Comic Expo, the Summer Reading Program, and then they also help out with the float for the Cottonwood Christmas Parade.
And how did they do this last year?
They did wonderful.
They did wonderful.
We won the grand prize for best use of theme.
Yeah, that was great at the Christmas parade. I mean, it was fantastic.
It was.
And if you saw that float, it was, you knew, because I mean, I sat there and I saw them, and I was kind of going, oh my gosh, they've got first place wrapped up in the bag, because you could see all the time that went into that and the energy and the effort. It was great. They were passionate about that float.
Yep.
So that was good to see. Now, do you have a summer reading program, Joyce?
We do. Every summer is a summer reading program, and each year is a different theme. And this year is Libraries Rock, and it's all about music. So we're going to be having a lot of activities and programs that involve music. Sticks and Tones will be back performing, and I'm hoping to get a couple of other groups that will be lots of fun. Our crafts and activities will all kind of be geared towards music.
That's great. And so how long will that program last then?
It lasts 7 weeks.
Okay.
It starts registration the last 2 weeks of May, and then the actual, when kids can start logging in their minutes, starts on June 4th and runs through July 21st.
Wow. Okay.
And it's fun because it's all online. Kids can even be on vacation and read books, log in their minutes, and then come back and get prizes.
And that's just right around the corner. I mean,
It
we're
is.
heading for summer here pretty quick. It feels like it outside. Now, what do kids get out of the summer reading program? We'll end on that one, and we'll move to Mary here a bit. I just
Okay.
wanted to let you get that.
Well, they get the reading through the summer, which really helps them. But then there's also all the fun activities involved, and the competition of kind of with other kids on their reading minutes and that kind of thing. But it's just a fun event, and it helps get them involved in the library and keep reading through the summer.
That's great, because they need that.
Yeah.
That's very powerful for them going from one, from say 5th grade right into 6th grade. And it just, if you have something that's going on, especially in the summertime, get them involved in the library. So that's a great way to do it. So Joyce, thank you. I deeply appreciate that. Mary, let's talk a little bit as it pertains to the library services and everything. You're a supervisor at the library. You know everything that's going on at the library. Tell us about your position as we take a look at the library. What exactly do you do?
Basically, I'm in charge of making sure that the programming is set up and done correctly, no scheduling conflicts. We oversee the youth services department, kind of work together with the programming, and making sure circulation is done consistently throughout the Yavapai Library Network.
Okay.
So that each patron knows that when they check their books out, they'll be handled well and
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is part of it. Now Vanessa Ward's been there for almost 20 years. In fact, Vanessa's last day is coming up here real quick, meaning today. And so this will be the end of the day. We're having a big party for Vanessa.
Yes.
So if you know Vanessa Ward very well, you can wish her a happy retirement. But now, Mary, how long have you been at the library?
12 years
12
almost.
years. That's a long time.
Yes.
And, as it pertains to the aspects of your job, what do you find that are most important that you do? What do you like most?
The most rewarding part about the library is that we can help people from that wouldn't necessarily have the means, their own computers, things like that. They can come in, they can use our services. We have a job search computer that they can come in, apply for jobs right there. They can sign out. If anything that is job related is free for them. And we've gotten a lot of people coming back and saying thank you.
Yes.
because they've gotten a job with our services as well. I mean, books are just a small part of it anymore. We also have tablets, e-readers, things like that. People can use the technology that's up and coming right there at the library. We just got our newest collection of playaways, which if you're not familiar with, it's basically a book. All you have to do is put a battery in and some headphones, and you can take it out and on your walks or your runs, things like that.
Wow.
So,
well, most of I think there's so much that you guys get involved with that's very rewarding.
Yes.
And those are some of the things that are really neat. And it's definitely with youth, and it's also with just adult services. So it's really quite a place to be. We're going to take another break here real quick. Join us again here with Joyce as well as with Mary as we go through a little bit more on library services. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. Come right back.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness. When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. And we're talking with Mary Griffiths right now as it pertains to a lot of things that are going on with the library and library services and things that you offer. And now, just in the break, we were talking about, the adult services, and, we were talking youth reading program for summer reading, but now we have an adult reading program. And so tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, not only does the youth services have Libraries Rock as the theme this year, but so do the adults.
Awesome.
However, we do it a little bit differently. This will be our third year playing bookshelf bingo.
Oh, wow.
So basically the adults sign up online, but then they can come in, they can pick up a bingo card or print it out at home.
Fine. And
then each book that they read on the bingo sheet, the first bingo they get a prize. The first square they get a prize. The first bingo they get a book bag, and then we have a party at the end of the year as well. And so it's really encouraging them to read.
It is.
And they are as competitive as the teens, I think.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I've even visited some of the program, or I should say, the special interest class programs that are over there as well, and offering and it was a writing class, and I was able to be over there, and man, it really was great. I was so interested in it. I'm thinking, after I retire someday, I might just have fun over there too, because it's really a lot to do. Now, for adult services, Mary, do you have any regular scheduled programs for adults, and what are those?
We do. We have on the first Saturday of every month, we have Coloring Your Cares Away. Just come on in. I provide all of the coloring papers, pens, crayons, whatever coloring material you may need. And that's the first Saturday from 10:30 to 12. We also have a chess club, which is just beginning. It's on the third Saturday, same time, 10:30 to 12. If you have any interest in chess at all, please come by. We'd love to have you.
Really?
And then we also have an ongoing puzzle exchange. So you can come in and do a jig at your library.
Awesome. Yeah, there you go.
It's basically a jigsaw table. And just recently we've had another jigsaw table. Patrons just start their own. So those are my favorites. So come by and say hi.
Really, no kidding, and enjoy bingo. And
Yes.
So that would be fantastic. Now, do you offer, I know that you do, but I mean, tell us about your digital literacy classes then.
The digital literacy are, we have two of our staff members will teach you about your iPhone or your Android phone.
Okay.
I know a lot of people received new gifts for Christmas.
They did.
And we had two packed classes. So we are offering another one here soon. Just call the library 634-7559 to sign up, as class size is limited. And
Because they will fill up fast.
they are.
Yes. So now, do you have anything for music lovers?
We do. Every month we have the Big Band Echoes, and that is hosted by, let's see, Jim
Alstrom?
Alstrom,
Okay.
yes. And that's a lot of fun. That's also, you don't have to sign up for it, but it's a fun group. They come in, they go through old big bands, era 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, I believe.
Awesome.
And then he does some quizzes and things like that.
Well, tell us about the artists as well.
Our Artist Corner, and we are currently booked through March, but please, isn't it March?
Actually, I think we're booked through June.
Through
Oh
June.
my goodness sake,
Yes. So every month,
Wow.
I believe it's the third Tuesday, we have individual artists come in and do their genre right there in the library, talk to patrons. Patrons can watch them, whether it's painting a picture or we have a spinner.
Sculpting.
Yeah. We even had little tree houses being built, woodwork.
How neat.
So each third Tuesday, come on by and see what's going on.
Okay. Now tell us, there's something that's been going on now, you know, as it pertains to the Seed Library program. And it's been going on, I think, for this is its third year?
I believe so.
I think it is.
And you can come, it's the first Saturday of every month, you can come in and check out seeds for free. Wow. And these are seeds that have been, I can't think of the term, but they've been grown here, so they are already acclimated to our weather.
Right.
As we all know, the desert is a different type of soil. So.
Right, and they're not genetically modified in any way that I know of, and so it's just, it's your regular seeds, and you can then plant those, and then you return them back to the library. It's really quite a system.
Yes.
And it's kind of fun, too,
at
the same time. So I think that's awesome. I love the way that works out as a seed library at the library. Now, do you have online resources, and if so, what are those online resources and what do they do? We
have many online resources. Our most popular is probably Zinio, which has just been taken over by RB Digital, which we believe stands for Recorded Books. Okay. And if you like your magazines, why pay for a subscription when you can get your library card for free and read over hundreds. We also have Universal Classes, which is over 500 continuing education courses, and you do get credits for them. What those are nice about is you actually get feedback from teachers and other classmates online. For those of you that like to work on vehicles, we have the Chilton manuals. Just put in the year, the make, model, you can see diagrams, everything. And
you mean you don't have to buy those anymore?
No, and that
we
resource.
We don't have to have them on our shelf either.
I mean, yeah.
Exactly, and those
They're
books, about $250 per book.
Yes, they are.
So to have this available for free is I think,
exciting.
wonderful. It is. If you're an Ancestry buff, as long as you're within the library, you can use Ancestry.com for free. However, once you go in there and do your searches, you can email yourself the information so that you can go home and look it up there.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's great.
A lot of people love that.
Yes.
Yes.
And I want to make a plug for Tutor.com. Tutor.com is awesome from preschool all the way up through college, and they will even help you with a resume after you're out of college. So it's free. It's one-on-one help from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. live one-on-one. It's a great service and resource. So if your child is struggling, please, if you have a library card, go to our webpage, start out there, and there's a solution.
That's great.
Yes.
Tell us about special events coming up too.
Oh, special events.
Yes.
We have Medicare One-on-One is on February 10th. They are going to be talking about Medicare Parts A and B. Do you need them? When do you need them? And things like that. We have Know Your Numbers on February 21st. This will be our first year hosting that event. Come in, check your cholesterol numbers, make sure you're healthy. You're also that will also coincide with the Parks and Rec.
Right.
Looking Good Cottonwood.
Right.
So that's going to be really good. And we're also having a Veterans Town Hall on March 6th. We've hosted one before, and it was
attended.
Thank you. Well attended. So we're hoping
people are interested in that, and so I think that's a good thing. So they can come to the library as well.
Yes, and they have different tables set up to answer the different variety of questions that a vet might have. So it's great.
And what are your meeting rooms, and how does that work?
We have 2 meeting rooms. We have also a program room in youth services, but our meeting rooms, we have an awesome one with the technology. Another staff member, Kyle Smith, and I co-wrote a grant for $16,700 through the Arizona State Library Archives and Public Records, which LSTA, and we were able to obtain a projector, an automated projection screen, furnishings. It's wonderful. You can come in, use it free of charge, as long as whatever function you're asking for is free and open to the public, government or educational. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So that'll be fantastic to have, and it's fun to see that in play too. Now, I know that we're having something special today planned, and that's Vanessa Ward's retirement.
Yes.
And that's today from 2 to 4 p.m. We'll be holding a retirement party for our own library manager as she leaves. Right. And so Vanessa will be leaving us after 20 years of dedicated service, and come by if you want to help celebrate with her.
Yes,
and,
from 2 to 4.
2 to 4, you got it. And we're going to close out now. We thank you so much for being with us, enjoying time with us, and our library, and especially with our library services. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. Thank you once again for joining us.